Right, hello there. Welcome to my Let's Learn the Track series on iRacing. This season, we're going to be covering the BMW 12.0 series, which is kindly sponsored by simrigs.com. So please check out their website in the video description. Now, videos will be published weekly to coincide with the track changeover, and the intention of this series is to help you gain back that lost time. So this isn't a place for hot laps, this is a slow, methodical approach to learn the track, showing you my braking markers and my reference points. And as always, please let me know in the comments if this helps and you've managed to gain any time. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Let's Learn the Track BMW 12.0 edition. This series is sponsored by simrigs.com, so please have a look at the video description at their website. Now here this week we are at Lime Rock Classic. Now this is the one with the sketchy uphill right over the jump and not the chicane version, so just bear that in mind. We're using baseline setup obviously because this is the fixed BMW series, and we're using iRacing default weather. I'll put that on screen now so you can see what it is. So let's learn the track. What's it all about? Well, we're going to go out there, we're going to do a couple of slow laps. I'm going to show you what I use as my reference points as I drive around the circuit and what braking markers I think are nice and safe around here at Lime Rock. Then we're going to slowly pick up the pace and I'll show you those braking markers and reference points in action. So anyway, without further ado, let's get out on track. Okay, here we are on pit road here at Lime Rock Park. If you look in the bottom right of the screen, you'll see the brake pressure bias in the default setup is 56.9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower that to 51.1. I think that works well around here. Just bear in mind though that with the brake pressure bias lower, more of the brake is going to the rear of the car, so the harder you stamp on the brakes, the more likely you are going to lock up if there's no weight on the rear of the car, such as trail braking into a turn. Now, Lime Rock Park, exit of pit lane isn't too bad. However, just bear in mind that when you exit pit lane, then you are potentially going to be on the racing line. So switch your black box to the relative, which is F3 on the keyboard by default. That one now in the bottom right. That's the one that you should be using as you exit the pits. Now, here, turning point is very, very shortly after this blue cone. So just keep an eye on your relative. If you do need to pit in the BMW series, you've either A, got a stop and go penalty for not clearing a slowdown, or you've got damage and you've been in for your fast repair. So just bear that in mind when you leave the pits. Now we'll talk about turn one next time by, but essentially you want to be treating it as a double apex and then cutting back across this curb. So now down into this turn here, there's not a great deal for you to look at as far as using anything as a real reference point. The only thing that I use is the tyre marks in the centre of the circuit. Now you want to be approaching this in the centre of the circuit. And look at the tyre marks. I'll use my mouse cursor so you can see these here. So pretty much when they end, or near to when they end, you're going to be braking in a straight line down into second gear for this turn. Now this one is a very, very late apex, so we're going to be in second gear and we're going to be braking, we're going to be trail braking, getting the car all the way back and cutting this curb on the left, because we need the car over to the left hand side here ideally, because we want to open up this right hand turn here, because whatever speed that we carry through this turn, more than what somebody else does, we're going to carry it all the way down the straight to the sketchy right hander, and there is an overtaking opportunity into that right. Excuse me. So we're going to be short shift up into third gear. We're going to be using all of the track, all of this curb on exit, and then it's a short blast down fourth gear all the way down for this dodgy right hand turn. Now here I use the curb on the left hand side as my braking marker. We want to be using that foot and a half of curb just to make the track as wide as we possibly can. So we get the car over on the curb, and then we're going to be braking gently. We're going to be in 4th gear, but then as soon as we get to the apex, we're going to be on the gas, because at this point we're in a dip. All the suspension loads, the tyres are compressed as hard as they're going to go, so there's lots and lots of grip at this point, much more than you think. So ideally we want to be getting on the gas here now, and if you're in the centre of the track, you can pretty much keep it pinned. If you're not, if you're over to the left, you may need to just lift off the throttle, because the car will jump, and as it lands you'll lose traction, and before you know it you're hitting the tyre wall. So then this one, now this is a problem, this turn, because there isn't anything between the crest there and this right turn to use as a braking marker. However, if we look at the white line on the left hand side there, you can see a definite wiggle in the line, and there's this tree here. You can see it's the most protruding tree there. There's 2 tree stumps there. So if you look at this little wiggle in the line, and then there's that tree stump there. So as we get closer, you can see the wiggle, and you can see these trees here. That's what we're going to be using as our braking marker. So when we get to those, we're going to be going down into 3rd gear for this turn here. Now it's quite a late apex for this one. Don't hit this curb whatever you do, because that will unsettle the car, because the curbs here at the new Lime Rock are awful. So then 3rd gear all the way out. Careful not to go on the grass there, because that will suck you in there and you'll hit the barrier for the final turn. Now your turning point, you're going to be breathing on the brakes just slightly, just to get the car to rotate towards the apex. And what I use as my turning point is the dip. So as soon as the car gets into the dip, there we go, that's going to be our cue to start turning in for this right. And again, curb is quite vicious. The car will want to slide around there a bit, so just bear that in mind. You might need to balance the car on the throttle. So then we're down here, we're going to be leaving it in 5th gear all the way down here. We're not going to be going into 6th, and we're going to be braking between the 3 and the 2. If you're confident, you can get away with braking at the 2, but if you start off by braking at the 3 or just after, and get the car stopped, because if you go off on turn 1, you're going to lose so many positions, because it's all grass, and with the new tyre model being on all the GT cars, it takes you forever to get back on to the circuit. So we're going to be braking between the 3 and the 2, and we're going to be aiming for this first apex. We're going to be in 3rd gear, then we're going to be down into 2nd gear. The car will run out wide, so ideally you want to be using this line and then getting it back over this curb. You can short shift to 3rd, and then looking for those tyre marks. There they are, so they're going to end there. So we're going to be braking in a straight line, trail braking, just to get the car to rotate, because we need the car over to the left to open up this right. Short shift to 3rd, accelerate, use all of the track on exit. Now a short spurt down here to this uphill right, 4th gear, looking for the curb on the left. So we're going to be braking, breathing on the brakes a tiny bit. Then when we're in the dip, we can accelerate. If we're in the centre of the track, we can just keep the gas on, but if you're over to the left, you can't. So we missed that braking point there, but it's where the trees are, where the white line has got a little bit of a wiggle. So we're going to be braking just gently and turning in at the dip, and then getting on the gas as early as you can, and the car will want to oversteer there. So just leave it in 5th gear all the way up here. So we're braking between the 3 and the 2. We're going to be braking down into 2nd gear. You treat it as a double apex right, then short shift to 3rd if you wish, over that curb, middle of the track at the end of the tyres, down into 2nd gear. Apex this one very late, because we need the car over to the left. Short shift to 3rd. Try not to clip that curb on the inside there, because that's a killer as well. Then we're looking for the curb on the left, so we're just going to be just gently breathing on the brakes, accelerating at the apex. Cars are in the centre of the track there. Look for that wiggle, there it is. We'll pay more attention to that next time round. And then just in the dip, we're going to be turning in. And the car's a bit slidey there, the tyres are really cold still. So we're braking between the 3 and the 2, closer to the 2 if you feel comfortable, but certainly not on cold tyres. So treat this as a double apex right, short shift to third if you wish. May help prevent wheel spin. So at the end of the tyres we're going to be braking a straight line, down to second, apex this one really late, short shift to third. Use all of the track. You've got to make this track as wide as you possibly can. So now we're going to concentrate on the turn after this one. So we're going to be looking for that white line, the definite change. There it is, you can see it just there on the left. So we're braking there, down into third, and then accelerate round. So in the dip, we're going to be just easing off the throttle. Car's a little bit sliding there, but it's fine. Okay, we'll try and get some more heat into the tyres. We'll try and speed up a little bit now. So a double apex right, so get it cut back over that curb. And then at the end of these tyre marks we're going to brake in a straight line, trail brake, get the car to come back to the apex. Short shift to third, a little lift around that right hand turn there is required when you're going a bit quicker. So we're looking for this curb on the left, leaving it in four. Breathe on the brakes just to get the car to the apex, then accelerate round. And look at that wiggle line there, the wobbly line, down to third gear. I can't think of a better way to tell you what that's called. So we'll call it the wiggly line for the purposes of this demonstration. Right, we'll do one more lap and then hopefully the tyres will be a little bit warmer. So we're braking at the 3. Down to second gear, double apex, short shift to third, car over the curb there, accelerate, end of the tyre marks, down into second, get the car back to the apex, short shift to third, little lift of the throttle around that right hand turn, then get back on the gas, get the car over to the left on this curb. We're going to be breathing on the brakes, getting the car to the apex, then accelerating. There we go, looking for that line there, there it is, braking just after that. Third gear, accelerate, use the power of the car to help the car rotate. Miss that apex a little bit, but if you're easy on the throttle, if you're gentle, you can get away with it. Right, we'll try one more lap, see if we can beat our last time. So a little bit later on the brakes that time, which means we can go a bit deeper into the turn. Oh, they've got a 1x there. That first part of the circuit there, that compromised the rest there because we got turn 1 wrong. We compromised the rest. So just keep in mind that you might need to lift going over the crest. If you're not perfectly straight, then you may need to lift. Right, this lap was a lot slower, so we need to up our game a little bit there. We'll try and do a better lap. So the fastest we've done so far is a 47.5. That's easily beatable. Or it should be. So let the car run out wide. Short shift to third. Be patient round here. Then at the end of the tyres, braking down to second. Trail brake. Just balance the car. Be patient. Little lift round here. Then use the power of the car to help the car rotate. And move the car over to the left on the curb. Just breathe on the brakes to get the car to the apex, accelerate. See that was a little bit sketchy. So again, just be patient on the gas. So in the dip we're going to be turning in. There we go. It's not quicker, around about the same time, very, very similar. So 47.514, 47.543. So low 47s are easily doable. I don't know if iRacing are going to change the setup in any way before the new week, because obviously I shoot this before the week starts or before the tracks change over. So iRacing, I don't know if they will change the setup in any way, but it doesn't feel too bad. On the faster turns, it does feel a little bit loose, so you may need to just lift the throttle just to get the car to rotate enough, but not too much. So there we go. That's Lime Rock done for this week. There we go. That's Learn the Track at Lime Rock Park. I've no doubt this is going to be a wreck fest this week. So please let me know in the comments your success stories. How have you got on? Have you done all right? Has this helped? As always, good luck everybody. Have a good week. I'll see you later. Cheers.